Hi everyone, welcome back to my videos. Today we're going to talk about a powerful and often misunderstood moment in legal shows, the voir dire process. Specifically, we're going to dive into the scene from The Devil's Advocate, where Kevin Lomax, played by Keanu Reeves, picks the jury for his trial. This scene is very interesting to watch and see how attorneys select jurors, and more importantly, how they manipulate the system to their advantage. But before we dive into the scene of the movie, let's talk about voir dire. This is defined as the process where attorneys question potential jurors to determine if they are fit to serve on their jury. The goal is to make sure the people who decide the case are unbiased and impartial. But it's not always about fairness. It's also about strategy. Who you select can heavily influence the outcome of the trial. Now, let's talk about the clip from the movie. The first juror that Kevin decides to strike is a woman who looks to be a tough one to read. The other people around him were saying that she doesn't have any issues and she's just a school teacher, but Kevin knows that there is something deeper. Kevin says that she needs to be removed. This is called a peremptory strike because Kevin doesn't need to give a specific reason, he just doesn't want her on the jury. Peremptory strikes are a standard part of the process. Attorneys often use them to remove jurors that they feel won't be sympathetic because of their background or their personality. Next, Kevin removes a man because he's acting different on the stand than who he actually knows him to be. He is concerned that this guy might have too much for the case. This is a for a cause strike. This means that the juror has potentially shown bias or conflict of interest that would make it impossible for them to be impartial. In this case, the man is enough of a concern to disqualify himself from serving. From an ethical standpoint, this can be seen as a very clear removal. It is valid and justifiable, and no one can argue that it is not acceptable. Now, let's talk about the two differences between these types of exclusions, the peremptory and for a cause. The peremptory is based more on a gut feeling, an intuition, or even a strategy. Attorneys don't need to justify their reasons. It's all about removing jurors who might not be favorable to the case, even if there is not a bias. These, however, cannot be based on race, gender, or ethnicity. A for-cause challenge, on the other hand, is based on concrete reasoning. For example, if a juror has a strong bias or connection to the case, it is considered unethical for them to serve and they will be removed. There is a lot more transparency in this type of exclusion. To wrap everything up, this scene in The Devil's Advocate is a perfect example of how jury selection can be a mix of many things. It is strategic, manipulative, and raises many questions of fairness and ethics. So, do you think a jury selection is more about justice or playing the game? Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next time.